Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Rich from Young Blood Reviews, and it is a Monday on Bookish Days, and it is a beautiful, bright Monday afternoon, considering I am actually filming this on the afternoon. This week's topic is all about bookish pet peeves, and Lord, I got a lot because there's a lot of things that annoy me about a book, and some things just get on my ever-loving nerve. So, let's get started. The first pet peeve I have, and some people may not have experienced this, but I have a mom who just doesn't care about her books, and she just could care less what happens to them after she reads them or while she's reading them. Like, sometimes, she'll read it and she'll pull back the book and do this, and that, I'm like, stop doing that. Stop it right there. It's just one of those things that it just really gets on my nerves, and I think there's a lot of people that experience that, but that's not the pet peeve I was going to talk about, but that is one of them. There's one where it's like, she's sitting in a car one day, and she's trying to read on the way to somewhere while my dad's driving, and she forgets to take it inside, and when it's 98-degree weather, and it's very humid outside, you do not know what that does to books. You do not know. It causes the covers, when it's really humid, it causes them to bend like this, causes them to do that, and then it also causes the glue to melt, and it causes the pages to start coming out. Does anybody know this feeling? Because I sure haven't. My mom tried to do that to one of my books. She tried to put it in the windshield of her car, which fastens up the glue melting process. She tried to do that, and I almost yelled at her to take it out of the windshield. Do not leave books in a windshield. And if you see a parent trying to do this, tell them no, because it really gets on my nerves. And if it gets on your nerves, can't even talk about it. The next one, this is actually this may sound weird. When I go to a bookstore, I don't just grab a book. If I see it, I'm like, oh, there it is. I don't just grab it. I have to check it. I have to make sure there's nothing wrong with the book. That's why I don't like usually ordering a lot of stuff from Amazon, but when it calls for it, I usually have to. But I have to be there at the bookstore inspecting the book and making sure there's nothing wrong with it. An example, and this is the library book that I went and got, but it's got a lot of things wrong with it, but some people don't care what happens to books. But anyway, I have to make sure the spine does not have one of those little creases. I also have to make sure the glue is still holding up. And for a hardcover, I have to make sure that the book jacket is not damaged in any way. I got Arcadia Awakens one week that my mom got me Arcadia Awakens, and I wanted to be there because there was a copy there that I didn't want because there was something wrong with the book jacket. It was almost ripped to the point I was like, I don't even want it. And she ended up bringing me that one, and I was like, you're kidding me, right? So, what you can do, there is a solution if the book jacket is very crinkled. What you can do is make one of your bookshelves really tight, but to the point where you can put the book in there, but it flattens it out. That really does work, and my Arcadia Awakens is flattened out a lot, and it's made me really happy. The next one is letting people borrow my books. I know a lot of people have problems with borrowing books. Me and my friend Brad from Bookwire Review, we borrow each other's books a lot, but we know to respect each other's books. We don't just do whatever we want with them. I mean, that would just get on my nerves if, someone just borrowed my book and they did whatever they want with it. I have learned. I let this one girl borrow my Pandemonium copy from Lauren Oliver, or by Lauren Oliver. I think I can show you. See, I didn't let her have the cover. I was not going to let her have the book jacket. But what she did do is I don't know if you can see that, but she caused the book to start coming off the spine. And it really just annoyed me. And I was looking at that and I was like, why would you do that? I told you to take care of it. I told you to treat it like it was your own. Probably shouldn't have said that. That was probably my downfall. But I don't let people that I can't trust borrow my books. Also, another pet peeve that I hate, and that's why I don't like taking my own books to school. I usually go to the library, get a book, and hope they have the same book. That makes me sound crazy, going to the library to get the same book that I own. But listen to my my explanation. I don't like taking my books to school. It kills me to take it to school. The reasons is, when you're walking in the hallway, I don't like to put it in my backpack because it could also harm the book jacket. And if I do put it in my backpack, I usually put it on spine side down, and it doesn't usually harm it. But when you're walking in the hallways, why I put it in my backpack? Because if you're walking with it just like not like right here, but you know, by your side, down near your pockets, people have a tendency to just knock into you, and it causes the book jacket to almost rip if they do it too hard. And it really gets on my nerves when people do that, and a lot of people do that. If you have not experienced that, do not take your books to school. And what really made me notice that was I took one of my My Blood approved copies to school, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to put this anywhere. Just don't even want to touch it. And I could not put it in my backpack because my backpack had all my textbooks in it. My textbooks are huge. And it was really getting on my nerves, and I knew I could not bring it back. So I went and put it in my locker, and if you have, my locker is neat. I don't even really have anything in my locker. All my books are flat down, and so I would basically just put the book down flat on top of my other textbooks, and that really works. That really seems to work, and that really, I'm like, oh, thank you. So that's basically that pet peeve. Another pet peeve, and this one, it is a big one. But let me get something. I gotta show you this. If I can find it. My biggest pet peeve is Scholastic's paperbacks. I understand why a lot of people don't like paperbacks. I would be afraid too if I did not know what I was getting. I thought these paperbacks for Shiver and Linger were very flimsy. And I was like, that's going to be better than having to pay more for the hardback. But guess what? Scholastic makes the most horrendous paperbacks ever. They are cheap. I am telling you. No offense, Scholastic. I mean, your books are awesome, and I love your books. I would read your books over and over and over. I read The Abandoned and Underworld. Those are by Point, which is an imprint of Scholastic. But still, they make their paperbacks the same. I'm never buying another paperback by them. If I have to, I'll go on Amazon and buy a hardcover. I'm going to show you why. One, they're not flimsy. Look how stiff that is. You can't even do anything with them. See how stiff? And also, if I can find a good page that shows it, the spine is not made well. I mean, yeah, it's glued. And you can't even barely read the pages without ruining the spine. And you hear that crack every time you try to turn a page. That's evidence of a non-good spine. If you have not experienced that, don't ever buy a Scholastic book. I don't want you to experience it. It would be a very bad idea. My next book pet peeve is buying paperbacks. Shiver was an example of Scholastic paperback, but buying a paperback in general really just, that worries me a lot, especially if you buy one from Amazon, because Amazon, they don't even really take care of your books. All they really do is just put them in a box and they throw them into the trucks. I mean, do not buy a paperback from Amazon. It is horrible. I mean, it's just something I don't even want to deal with. One paperback I did buy was Croak by Gina D'Amico. Amazon really got on my nerves when I got this book in. Bad paperback to buy from them. Because Books A Million does not sell this in their stores. They don't even sell the Graphia books in their stores, and that really makes me mad. Because it's from a big publishing company, which is the Hooked in Mifflin. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I hope I didn't. But anyway, And I was like, well, hopefully Walmart has it. I went to Walmart and they didn't have it. And they usually sell a lot of the Graphia books if you haven't seen. That's where I bought my Hunger and Rage books, which are by Jackie Morse Kessler. If you haven't read those are really good. And I also ordered that book along with this book. That book didn't get harmed. This one did. One reason was, you see this? You see that? That is where the cover is coming off from the original paper, like right here. And that gets on my nerves. Also, you see that little crease right there? You see that? Yeah, that was from carelessness. I opened the box and I saw that happening. I was like, Amazon. It's not even really Amazon's fault. It's UPS's fault. Which is who brings me these books. Also, the spine is starting to come off, if you can't see that. If you can't see that, it is. Trust me, it's just coming off. And that, in all reality, annoys me. Annoys me. I don't know why, it just does. It's just one of the biggest pet peeves that I have. The last one is a big one for me. It really annoys me. And on most arcs, this happens. A lot of arcs are made with this plastic film that goes over the books. And that plastic film can come off, if you can't see that. I hope you can see that. It's like this little plastic stuff. Yes, a lot of publishers put a plastic film over their books. Oh, and by the way, this is Echo of the Darkness by Francine Rivers, which is the second book in a series. But they put a lot of plastic on the covers, and that really just makes me mad. Book quality is everything to me. If I ever wrote a book one day, I know it would not be my choice, but I would have to choose how my book is made. I would have to. It would have to be my choice. And that probably wouldn't go for a lot of publishing companies probably wouldn't like that, but I'm sorry. I have to do it. I would have to approve it. One of the best covers I've ever seen, and one of the best books ever made, like in a type of paperback format, was The Iron Knight by Julie Kagawa. One, it was French flapped, and a lot of French flapped books do not get harmed pretty easily. That one really opened my eyes, because I was like, oh my gosh, the French flaps, it won't get harmed in the near future. Also, deckled edges. I don't know why, but I find that to make a really good book, along with French flaps in a paperback type of book. Also, really good spine, like where it's not coming off its spine and stuff like that. I ordered Two Truths and a Lie, in the third book in the Lion Game series, and I mean literally the pages were almost coming out, and I was like, what is going on with the manufacturer for these books? So that is basically everything that makes me mad. That's my pet peeves, and a lot of them may sound crazy, or may just sound odd, but they're my pet peeves, and I respect them, and a lot of my friends that borrow my books don't respect them, but I know there is one of my friends, he does respect them, and it makes me happy to let him borrow a book and know that my book is going to come back in complete and utter great condition. So, that's all from me this week, you guys. Leave down in the comments what your biggest pet peeve is. I would love to know, and make sure I watch out for that. Plus, I'm pretty sure if I learn about your guys' pet peeves, I'm pretty sure I'll start noticing them on books, and I'll start being very wary of them. So, I hope you guys have a great week. Also, stay for the rest of this week. We got a lot more people to do this week. It's going to be awesome. So, stay for the rest of this week. So, happy reading!